Next story on here. Let's go over the mask mandates because, folks, the mask mandates are over. And I can tell you, I have to commute into New York every day. And, of course, they were still enforcing the mask mandates on, the PATH train and so on like that. They are still enforcing these on trains and buses and so on. The mandates are over. They can no longer enforce them. On airplanes, there were people stripping off their masks, mid-flight and cheering. different pictures across the U.S. Let me go over a bit of this. This is Daily Mail reporting because I want to show where things are at with this. All right, folks, Daily Mail is reporting flyers cheer and whip off masks as TSA stops enforcing mask mandates after court ruling. But flight attendants, they're claiming, warn of more violence if there's confusion as airlines and airports get option to continue with the rule. Hear that, folks? Not wearing masks may be a domestic terror threat. More violence if they try to force people to wear them. They're not using the phrase domestic terrorism, but this is what they've been calling domestic terrorism, right? All right, it says this. Trump-appointed U.S. District Judge Catherine Kimball Mizell argued Monday that the CDC, now she didn't argue, she legally ruled Monday that the CDC improperly failed to justify the decision and did not follow proper rulemaking. It's funny they say argued when it was a court ruling. If you're arguing as you go into court, that's one thing. If a judge makes a decision, that's a ruling. Court has ruled that the whole thing was illegal. The CDC did not properly justify its decision and did not follow its own rulemaking in doing this. Meaning, frankly, this what they were doing was illegal. At the same time, the federal judge argued in a 59-page ruling the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, overstepped its authority, i.e. did things it did not have a legal authority to be doing. The administration official, Biden administration, said, today's court decision means CDC public transportation masking is not in effect at this time. And again, the Biden administration is challenging this legally. They're trying to bring it back into court, and they're going to try to bring back the mask mandates. This is currently on the table, and they're currently trying to move forward with it. Funny, though, because they only extended the mask mandates until early next month. I think the 4th, I believe, around then. But the funny thing is, it's like, okay, like you extended it until next month. Were you going to keep extending it to the point where you need to, again, challenge a court ruling that determines it was illegal? Because how long do you want to keep it in place for this time? Now, as I mentioned, important things. The CDC itself has now acknowledged that cloth masks do not protect against viruses. If you're wearing a cloth mask, it is not because it's making you safe from a virus. The CDC has said it doesn't do that. Maybe an N95, like on a basic level, right? Like a little bit. It does not protect you. It doesn't do anything. It is purely political. It is purely an act of demonstrating political adherence to an ideology, right? And I would say on a psychological level, which is why I think my personal opinion on why they're actually enforcing these mask mandates, is it's a reminder that we're in a pandemic. It's a reminder that the government has these additional, special powers, these special authorities under emergency authorization. It's a reminder of these things so that, again, they can maintain this state of fear and maintain the ability to basically change laws on a whim and lock people down on a whim or do whatever they want on a whim or change election laws on a whim as they did in 2020 using this. These lockdown policies and these virus policies and the Emergency Use Authorization Act gives them powers they do not normally have. It gives them monitoring powers they do not normally have, and they've warned about the effects of losing that if, for example, the pandemic were to end, which they've already acknowledged it's mostly ended. It's endemic, as they've been saying. What they're talking about right now is no longer just things that protect you from the virus. The masks don't protect you. It is purely a political statement. It's purely political if, again, the cloth masks don't do anything. Now, and we've seen as well the way that the public reacts to it. The public reacts as soon as they say it's over. They strip off their masks and start cheering because people don't want to be wearing them. People are not afraid of the virus. Well, some are. A lot of people are not afraid of the virus. What they're afraid of is the government coming after them. They're afraid of getting fired from their jobs. They're afraid of getting kicked off the airline. They're afraid of getting fined by the TSA, as many people have been, if they refuse to comply. And so that's the real nature of these things, and the real nature of them trying to roll it back. I made a few points on this too, that, we've seen as well how government officials have been acting during the pandemic with the mask mandates. Has anybody seen photographs of Barack Obama's birthday party, for example, where, for example, most people, almost no one that I saw was wearing masks? Have you seen pictures coming out and videos coming out of officials not wearing masks at gatherings while the servers are wearing masks? Just the peasants, just the servants wear masks, not them. Now, that sends a clear message to the American people, because, the people not wearing masks in private and their own business, in their own dealings, in their own meetings and so on, the ones not wearing masks in private, right? They're not wearing them. Those are the ones telling us we need to wear them for our safety. Now, we would assume, based on just, being reasonable people, that the reason they're making us wear masks is because they've seen information we have not seen that suggests there's a public health crisis, that suggests we're in danger if we don't wear the masks, that is so serious, such a serious threat to our health, that, we might die if we don't wear them, that they have to, for our own good, for our own safety, the safety of others, make us wear them. And they're not wearing them. So what does that tell us? It means the people who we believe are informed in such a way that makes them assess that a mask is not necessary, right? Isn't that the message they're sending by not wearing masks when they're having their own private gatherings, when they're all meeting together, when Nancy Pelosi's kissing Biden, right, as she did, not romantically, but as a thing. And again, when Biden was someone had this. Now, we would assume that, again, that they're doing it because it's for our own safety, but it seems to not be for safety, because they don't seem to care privately. What is it for then? Yeah. If it's not for safety, what are the masks for? The CDC says doesn't protect you. What are they for? Again, it's a practice in political compliance. The masks are a political issue, not a virus issue. Let me show you another tweet here from Representative Thomas Massey. Something interesting here. And I think one of the big questions that a lot of people are going to have as we go forward with this, as, again, a Trump-appointed judge has made this ruling, says, at the CDC director, now would be a good time for you to resign. A federal court just ruled that you have been breaking the law. Now, we will see where this goes. Again, the Biden administration, they're challenging this. Again, they're trying to re-implement the mask mandates. It's going to be hard for them to bring them back at this point because, again, people are not going to have to wear them in the meantime. The judge ended the mask mandates based on a court ruling. And based on that court ruling, you don't have to wear them anymore, folks. It's illegal. If someone tries to make you wear one, you can sue them. It's illegal for them to do it. Now, the big question will be, can the Biden administration bring it back before that can happen? We will see. But again, one of the big things too is going to be, one of the big things too is going to be whether the Republicans can retake the House and the Senate, because if they can retake the House and the Senate, or even just the House, they can launch investigations, possibly even into the COVID policies around this. And if they can launch those types of investigations, really, it's going to prevent these types of policies from coming out again, very likely, because we can look at the actual documents and actual assessment behind the scenes that are making people wear these.